Alright, I got my notes. This is part two. We're going to talk about the Battle Riot match itself. As I ended part one saying the rules are as follows. It is basically a basic, it's a Royal Rumble slash Battle Royal. It's like they're combined. Because you know how a Battle Royal is like a fucking 100 people in the ring at like starting off and shit. Whereas a Royal Rumble, you start off with two, and every minute or whoever's holding the time clock, another person comes out at each interval until you get to the end, number whatever, and the final man in wins. Same rules except with the Battle Riot. You can go over the top ropes to be eliminated. You can be pinned or submitted as well. Just like I said before, I referenced the old, No Mercy and Revenge and all those games and stuff. You can set up a Battle Riot match on there, except you can like have ring out on, and you can have false count anywhere and pin. You can pinfall and submission and win them that way. I used to do 100 mans and win with pinfall and submission back on Revenge back in the day. WCW NWO Revenge if you never played it. But anyways, that's off topic. Let's get to this because I want to get this done so I can take my fat ass to sleep. Alright, so the Battle Riot. The announcer flubbed some lines and shit. He fucked up the name of the match. He fucked up how to say, the rules and shit. Shit happens. Whatever. I ain't mad at him. He's pretty good though. First two people out was MJF and Dan the motherfucking Beast Severn, bro. Like, seeing Dan was the shit. I'll admit. Like, Dan Severn is the man. If you don't know about Dan Severn, look him up, man. He's the beast for a reason. Did his thing in UFC, mixed martial artist. Was in WWE for a little bit. I think Owen Hart broke his neck with a power driver like he did Austin, or maybe it was a work. I can't remember. But they had a little storyline going there. He fought with Shamrock a bunch of times. But Dan's a man. The motherfucker looks just like... Actually, he looks like an old Mike Hagar. He came out the ring looking like Mike Hagar. Had the mustache and shit. But I mean, he looks just like how he looked back in the day. He just has gray hair now and looks a little bit older. But he looks just like last time I seen him on WWF TV back in the Attitude Era and shit. But yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't expect to see him in that motherfucker. But I'll be honest with you. After he came out, the match up until Myron Reed came out, because that's what I got down right here, was mostly just boring as shit. Going over the little Sasha Banks story I talked about earlier, I was able to look at contracts because I was looking up contracts, to see when hers was up. Well, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. at MLW, and their contracts are up in April of 2019. Well, they were like, like I said, there's 40 people in this match. They came out under number 10. Hella rude. My apologies, man. Shit. But they came out, I think, at number like 4 and 5 respectively, and were eliminated within like 5 minutes of them being out there. Like, they weren't shit. Like, my boy Pentagon came out and did some super kicks and was doing his shit, tripping and shit, His brother got eliminated worse, though. Like, he just fucking came in, did a few moves, and got eliminated, like, in a minute or two, like a little bitch. Pentagon, I think he got eliminated by, and I meant to look this up. I guess it's supposed to be La Parca's son. It's like El Hijo. His name is, Hijo de la Park. And I meant to look up to see what that means, but I don't know what that means. I know the L.A. Park is supposed to be La Parca. I don't know why they don't call him La Parca. Maybe WCW owned the name, or AAA. Somebody owned the name and he couldn't use it, so he goes by L.A. Park now. Because for a minute I was like, who in the hell is L.A. Park? I know La Parca, the chairman of WCW with the wacky dance and was hitting people with chairs all the time. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Anyways, Dan Severn, MJF, first two. people were coming out after a minute, and it was just like rapid fire. I swear they said like it was a minute, and they had a countdown in the back. But the thing they didn't do like the Rumble would do is they wouldn't put up the number of the person coming out. Like they would do the countdown, but they wouldn't tell you like. I didn't know they were at the end of the fucking match until Bocchini was saying something like, "Oh, we're down to the final 7." Because I'm just like, damn, this shit's an hour long. And it was just going and going and going and going until fucking the Contra unit came out and it picked up even more. But like, it was just going and going. And the motherfucker that won, like, what the fuck? But we'll get to that too. Let me go over a few highlights before we get to the end, the final 4 and the final 2 and the winner. A couple of notes I made up. Myron Reed, this silly guy, he comes out. I can't remember what number because they didn't tell me what number, but I guess it's just a battle royal. Maybe that's why they knew it because it didn't matter. But anyways, he comes out. He didn't even do a fucking springboard. This motherfucker cleared the top ropes and did a jumping cutter. Like he jumped over the top ropes and grabbed somebody with a cutter on the way down. Like he didn't even land on his feet. He just said, whoop, whoop, bam. And it was cool. It was a cool looking move. Gringo Loco got hit with a pop-up DDT from Ray Honas, I think his name was. I wrote it down pretty quick. But they did like you're watching these lucha guys and these smaller guys fight, and then they'll go for the Hurricane Rana, but they like spin around them and go around their whole body like a cat running around you and shit. But he ended up popping them up. Well, yeah, he popped Ray Horace in the air when he came around finally from the Hurricane Rana, popped him in the air, but Horace came down and grabbed him and hit him with a DDT. Sweet looking move. Very nice. My notes. Barrington Hughes. I wish I could remember his nickname. I wish I should have wrote it down on the back of his the back of his outfit. It was like, nah, fam. Like, for real, bro. Look up Barrington Hughes. This big motherfucker, boy. Like, I've seen a couple of his matter of fact, I think his was the first match I've seen on MLW. Or before I watched MLW, I've seen Barrington Hughes, and he was going up against they show him and Ace Romero beefing real quick, Well, apparently this guy Barrington Hughes is like, I guess, some cool pimp kind of guy, but he's massive, massive. Like he is a huge man, but he's cool. He seems like he's real cool though. Like his character, man. I need to watch some more of this guy. Like he seems entertaining, but he's funny. Yeah, that was leading me to my next note. Myron Reed went for a springboard crossbody on the two fat guys in the match. Myron Reed weighs 154 pounds, like soaking wet. This motherfucker did a springboard, jumped off the ropes, and they just stood there. The two fat guys, Barrington Hughes and Ace Romero, just stood there, and he just like bounced off of. He literally bounced 10 feet off these motherfuckers, and it was hilarious. Not too long after that, because they eliminated him and some other folks. People were getting eliminated left and right. I can't remember how it was. Tanaka eliminated Dan Severn. It's the only one I remember because I was watching Dan's man. But he got eliminated too. I didn't keep track of all the eliminations because it was just, it was too much going on. But at this point, Contra Unit came out. These motherfuckers, bro. Simon Gotch is the man. If this is his idea, like, kudos to that man. Because the Contra Unit, like, they aren't just whooping ass. Like, each man has like a different way of like inflicting pain. Like the Samoan cat, his thing is his fat ass will jump to the top ropes and do moonsaults. They whooped on some indie guys a couple weeks ago. This motherfucker, they were carrying a guy out on an old school MASH style gurney. Like they didn't even have a gurney. They had the fucking thing that you hold, and it's like a fucking cloth in the middle, like an old school gurney and shit you only see on MASH, like I said. This motherfucker jumped to the top ropes when they picked him up and did a moonsault on him. In this match, he was on the ramp. He comes, their music plays, caution you, and the girl, all these faces and shit. So he comes out, and you know how the Samoan guys do, they, he doing the Umaga faces and shit. And he's just on the ramp, just doing his thing. Next thing you know, Contra Unit, the other two members, Simon Gotch and Samael, comes through the crowd, and they just start beating down Ace Romero. Cotto Brazil was in there. Some guy that looked like Tom Green was in there. And it wasn't Daga, it was some other little guy. Like the three smallest, some of the three smallest guys on the brand. They got their asses whooped. Like, these three guys came in there and whooped like 4 or 5 people's ass. So they kicked their ass, right? Well, the whole time, like, well, Gotch and Samael came through the crowd. That's why nobody seen him. They get in the ring, whoop ass. Gotch had a fucking gas can with him. He had a gas can, a metal one too, not the plastic ones, fellas. He had a steel or an aluminum, because we can't use steel with, with fuel because it will corrode. But he came out with an aluminum, an aluminum fuel can, and he's beating people with it and shit. I thought it was just empty. I thought it was just like a random weapon, because people brought out weapons. It's just some jackass brought out a cowbell, like he's fucking, Stan Hansen or some shit. They got eliminated, whoever the fuck they were. But oh man, this motherfucker with the gas can beating people's ass with it. And he started pouring gas on the 3 little guys in the middle of the ring, pouring gasoline, and you can hear like, oh my Jim Cornette, it smells so pungent, and it's gasoline, so oh my god. And this motherfucker, Samael, about to yawn again, trying to hold it in. Oh goddamn. We gotta hurt me in this. Samael, I guess they're gonna have a barbecue, after the show, because he had one of those lighters he used to light a barbecue grill with. He lit it in the air and walked around with it, and obviously it was freshly bought, because we all know it was either freshly bought or a top brand, because when you light that, if you walk around with it and the wind blowing, it's supposed to go out. So yeah, I'm just whatever, I'm just flying off the collar. But so he's walking around like, yeah, I'm gonna set these motherfuckers on fire, like they're charcoal in the grill, like he was gonna fucking light them in 4 different points on that ass. Well, fucking security runs out. There's like 3 security guards and a bunch of referees run out, and some other guys, they run out, they stop them. Well, they can't stop the Samoan guy. He's fucking flipping out. They slow him down, but he jumps to the top ropes and he does a moonsault. Well, they tried to cover for him. He did a moonsault. They laid all 3 of the guys on top of each other like some type of fucking sandwich. He did and the Samoan guy did a moonsault and missed. He overshot them like bad. He like went way over the motherfuckers. But they wanted to be like, oh, he hit him with a moonsault headbutt. No, the fuck he didn't. He missed. And he knew he missed because he hit him with a senton after that. Like, they sold it like they got hit. But immediately after they said, oh, they rolled over, he fucking hit him with a senton. I guess they weren't ready for that. Because, like, they weren't prepared for that. They just wanted to sell, like, the moonsault. But anyways, Gotch grabs the fucking gas can, pours gas on these motherfuckers. And they're about to burn them, but like I said, they broke it up and shit, sent them to the back or whatever. Contra Unit is pretty cool. I like them. But moving on, this match is still in progress. MJF sneaks into the ring and pins the 3 guys that got their ass whooped. Tried to pin. Ace Romero was in there too. He didn't get his ass whooped as much as those guys did, but he still was in there laying on the ground selling his injuries. MJF comes in, pins all 3 of them, eliminate those 3 little guys, tries to pin AC. And Ace kicked out. And out next is Brian Pillman Jr. And remember, like the dynasty which MJF is a part of, hit his homeboy, Brian Pillman Jr. He hit Teddy with a fucking bottle earlier in the night. So Pillman comes out, gets his revenge. They're fighting. They do the let's punch each other at the same time, but not punch each other shit. And Brian Pillman eliminates him. I can't remember how, but he eliminated him. Next who comes out is Davey Boy Smith Jr. So you got two Hart Foundation guys in the ring. And they're about to fight. Excuse me. But Ace Romero rolls back into the ring and starts fighting both of them. To keep it short, Davey eliminated him. And next thing you know, another surprise entrant was LAX. And I've watched some TNA and and they were on Lucha Underground too, but for some reason I can't remember who's in it except when they had Eva Lisa in it with her hot ass. Yeah, I remember you, but those two guys, they said it was Ortiz and Santana, and I know Conan. Conan was out there too with his old ass out there, throwing punches and getting his ass whooped. But they get eliminated by the tag team guys. Ortiz and Santana got eliminated by Davey, and I don't know how the fuck Conan got eliminated. He just was out. I guess he eliminated himself. Cornette old ass is losing his voice by this point from all his wacky references. Like his voice is dying out. He even admits to it on the air. And as he's losing his voice, that's when La Parka comes out. Okay, let's see what else I got down over here. Some guy named Emil Sitochi. Yeah, he looks like Tom Green. Emil Sitochi. He looks like Tom Green without a mustache. I mean, without a goatee. If you don't know who Tom Green is, fucking Google it. I don't have time to get into it. But he was an idiot when I was a kid. He was one of those silly motherfuckers that was on MTV doing dumb shit when I was a kid. And it was apparently supposed to be funny. He wasn't funny to me. I thought he was a fucking idiot, but whatever. The biggest pop of the night went to the Blue fucking Meanie when he came out. Like, I never liked that motherfucker. I don't know why. I get his character, but just because I get his character don't mean I like it. That stupid shit and his fat ass. I just don't like the guy. I just don't. JBL punched him in the face one time and fucked him up real bad during the ECW brawl, and that's the fuck he gets because he sucks. Anyways, I meant to look up this guy, Lance Anoa'i, part of the Anoa'i dynasty family. Obviously, he's related to Roman Reigns and Nia Jax and The Rock and all those guys, But I meant to look him up, but I forgot to. Oh, shit. We're getting to the end. Come on, we can make it. Mance Warner. I like this guy. When I first seen him, on the first episode I seen, I thought he was he's a Stone Cold ripoff, which he kind of is, but he's kind of not. He's just like a country redneck motherfucker, but I guess that's what Stone Cold was. But he even was talking like him and drinking beers and shit. I don't know, whatever. I like him. Mance is he's a funny dude. But he comes out with a fucking 2x4, and the crowd is like, oh, like fucking Jim Duggan, and he's walking around hitting people and fucking people up with it. It was cool. It was funny.